as Gumayusi hovered the Yasuo that a lot of people, I imagine, were pretty excited about. There is MF, though, to be locked in.
All right, this has been another one of Guma's picks this season that he's found a lot of great success with, especially with Kanavi's Jarvan, and they have the Bard to set this up as well. This is a great set of 4 champions here for HANWHA Esports, and they still have that final pick for the top lane. Again, this could be Faker playing Varus, but probably not.
Yeah, good point.
As Pantheon will go all the way through the draft.
Okay, that's kind of insane. They can choose which order they want to pick them in.
They need Engage badly.
Yep. And picking the Annie first makes a lot of sense because the Jhin is in Faker's hands right now, so it helps with swapping. So the Annie is going to be locked in, and then a Pantheon might be a decision still.
I'm trying to think of what else they could go for here that could still work. If they want a bigger front line, they could even go for something like a Sejuani. Wukong completely out of my mind here, actually, and fantastic for them, but isn't going to be great in the early game. Same with this Nocturne. So they do opt for Owner's Nocturne here, even though they don't have the greatest mid-jungle synergy. It still works decently well with the Annie, but wonky draft here for T1.
Yeah, I'm a little bit frightened about it. I mean, there is some synergy, obviously, between the Curtain Call and the Paranoia, right? Like, you can see the targets to hit, and it's much more difficult to dodge
What's Zeus
when the lights are out.
Gnar, is it Kennen? Is he playing Yorick into Varus? Okay.
I mean, it could really work. There's, you know, the same school of thought for the Yorick into the Jace could play a part here, because if the Yorick ever gets on top of the Varus may just die.
He will die in almost every situation.
The games as well, but we are not between the games now. We are ready to get onto the rift for game 1. Wow. My eardrums, even though they are inside, theoretically, noise-canceling headsets, are very sore after that T1 chant.
Uncancelled.
Indeed. Definitely not very cancelling. As Doran has gone back to the old exhaust on the top side of the map. This was the first Varus summoner spell that we saw. I think we saw some experimentation with some other things, but the exhaust has seen the most success up there. As Delight is using Carrier's skin. That's kind of cool.
See an electrocute proc early for Delight. As the small little things you need to get done in this lane if you're going to try to go toe-to-toe here at level 1. Gets another Q to land.
Ooh, not too bad, the damage to come on through here. As Pei's taking the worst end of it, and so is Carrier here in these trades. Usually doing a decent job.
He's really holding his ground. Forces the barrier. Guma, really aggressive here, but knows his limits. He's really good at misfortune. Anyone who's been watching LCK knows. Level 2, though.
Level 2 comes through for both teams, as with the heal utilized on both sides, it's now just Gumayusi in the lead as far as that barrier is concerned.
Yeah, and, I mean, the barrier advantage is, you could definitely feel it. You could see it in how Guma's playing. He's got the health here to actually back up, pushing aggressively. He's going to push this wave as fast as possible. And Delight's Ignite, or rather his Electrocute proc that he had earlier, really put a dent in Carrier's health, and then the heal trade allowed them to weather the storm of that barrier from Pei's. And I mean, the observers are keeping their eyes glued on this because this is right now the most important part of this early game, bar none.
Oh, it really is. The Inspire coming in from Carrier, though, means that when Pei's is able to get those trades, it works out very well, as Delight takes a lot there from Carrier and Pei's together. Deadly Flourish connecting.
I think that's the end of the tempo here for HANWHA Life, even with Guma's barrier advantage. They do have Kanavi coming down here, and Owner is a Nocturne at level 3, so they may have been wanting to, had that not happened, set up something right afterwards, but it's just not going to be the case anymore, and we'll see Delight take an early back and run back to the lane.
Well, Zeus is pretty good at Yorick, everyone, and so even at level 4 is doing just fine against Doran up here. Obviously, things could take a turn, and the wave is crashing towards the Varus. But oftentimes we see Varus in a whole lot of control in the early stages of the game, and so far Zeus is doing a very good job. I think it's really interesting thinking about how these compositions are going to work. As, Pei's very close to getting bound, exactly.
That angle that Carrier and Pei's almost set up for Delight was potentially devastating.
And is this the quietest Kanavi's been all season long? Feels like it for me, as we haven't really been having a look at the jungle. We will pan over to him now.
He's going to get involved in the Raptor camp.
There we go. At least sees Owner and throws a flag in. And he's just going to help him with his Raptors. Nicely done.
Marked enemy jungler.
Indeed.
As Faker's having a pretty good early laning phase here, as he had a phenomenal bounce back game against Scout after having his worst career KDA, or again, deaths. I always say KDA for some reason, but I don't think that's actually accurate. It might be, but I don't think it is. And did end up controlling a lot of that series that they played earlier this week, and is having a good start to this one as well on the Annie pick.
Yep, has been something he's found success on in the past as well, as Zeka has also been a great Azir player in the past. Also, Faker
Took him
would
a little
certainly
while.
remember that. Yeah,
but he eventually did grow into the Azir, especially in the post-DRX days after winning that World Championship.
Doran goes back and collects himself some steel caps.
The boldness of both of these teams in the draft is, you could really feel it, right? As Faker does have a bit of a health advantage here.
Yeah, a bit of boldness there from Zeka to just straight up die.
I guess he just thought Faker didn't have enough mana to do that, but he did.
Yeah, I don't know how he thought that, but...
I mean, I don't know elsewise what he was thinking there. I was like, okay, Faker has more health, but so Zeka will respect it, is what I was going to say. And then...
I'm sorry. Yeah, I want to apologize to everyone for the lack of play-by-play there, but it just was kind of silly.
Like, Faker did a lot of impressive stuff leading up to that, and then he was like, what? And then killed Zeka.
Yeah. And I mean, we were talking about the fact that, you know, Faker has been having a bit of a glow-up. The good old solo first blood as he now drops a bear on the pigeon.
I mean, Zeka had the full push of the wave. He didn't need to stand in Tibbers range there either, but...
Let's have a look at it again, shall we?
So Faker's like, all right, I'm going to come up here. He's got his stun prepped, right? Because he can just self-shield. But he actually Qs and Ws. He has just enough mana for that, actually. 140 required.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think Zeka just did not expect him to have enough. That's my only defense.
Well, that double up did a fair bit of damage there as Carrier looking for a little bit more. Cosmic Binding not going to connect, but Guma giving a lot back here. Will use the barrier to make sure he mitigates as much of that damage as he can. As Ona comes down only level 5, but is still able to help back up his bottom lane.
Yeah, this is really scary for the T1 bottom trio, so to speak, with Owner not having his ultimate just yet, Kanavi being nearby, and that health trade heavily benefiting Gumayushi because he had the barrier. Even with barrier disadvantage in that 3v3, I think T1 was never going to like what happened. It's been a pretty impressive game from both Guma and Delight in this 2v2. What I was going to say before we had that solo kill in the mid lane is like the players and the teams here said, all right, we actually think we can handle all these OP picks, and this, you know, Guma Delight setup here with the MF Bard is working into Karma. You know, they're actually doing quite well, whereas most teams would just not even allow the Karma. So yes, definitely not enjoying that.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage. Chains of Corruption does come on through. Does have his Merc Treads completed, so isn't held in position for too long. But you can see that doesn't really matter because Doran does so much damage off the back of the Blight, stacking up a few extra times. And so Varus doing what it's supposed to now.
Yeah, it is notable, like you pointed out earlier, that this is like the first time Kanavi's been 0-0-0 at 7 minutes in 2026.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
And, you know, the pressure hasn't been strong enough in any of these lanes for him to actually impact them. He came up to the top side when Doran was getting that aggressive trade in, but wasn't close enough to gank and knew that the window was kind of not there. Bottom side, obviously, there were 3v3 fights that could have happened, but never found a window in and couldn't bail Zeka out from his own demise there in the mid lane. So T1 do have that gold lead, and unfortunately for Kanavi, he hasn't made an impact just yet, which means that now Nocturne has skipped the toughest part and is ready to look for another pick here, potentially.
Yeah, there goes the bear. I mean, Zeka can always break the shield from the Nocturne and then just sweep him away. Speaking of sweeping, does find Faker here, who still doesn't have his flash. Kanavi making his way in, not going to be 0-0 anymore as he adds a 1 to the first column. Tibbers gets mad, but not going to be able to do anything.
I guess they just didn't have vision there, but you could tell by how Faker was playing. He's like, the danger has passed. My Nocturne is very nearby with Paranoia, so I should be okay here. And Zeka just gets in there. After, I think, surprising Faker because he took all that damage from Tibbers, gets on top of him, the follow-up is there, so there's no vision here for to see Kanavi, right? So Faker trades half health, and he's like, I should be fine. Owner's nearby. There's nothing that can go wrong here. But Zeka actually gets this really nice Emperor's Divide after the shuffle. Faker is just dead because both Kanavi and Delight are here. T1 are taking Dragon in live.
Yeah, it was actually really well played by Zeka to make sure that he wasn't looking like he was looking for it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
think that was really well played, especially after a pretty massive misplay earlier on. To be able to have that bounce back is going to be important here as they even up the scoreline and do claim, you know, almost a gold lead as things are extraordinarily even. The Dragon is going to put T1 a little bit ahead as far as stats are concerned if everyone spends their gold. But having a look at the compositions, I still think like there is some wonkiness on T1's side, but if they're able to start the snowball rolling in mid-game, this composition can just win more very effectively.
Owner does not have the information, the critical information.
Well, in goes Kanavi. Delight? Where did we come from, my friend? He's going to get the flash out of Owner. Zeus is going to come and help collect this red buff as Pays shows some curtains to Guma. Now Doran is able to flash in a very interesting way, gets into the ghoulie wall, and is actually completely fine after Delight sort of bypasses him in his own magical journey. And all right, Guma able to sidestep here.
That was very intense.
Yeah, there's a lot of scariness happening all over the place.
But, I mean, this turret is not safe. Doran.
Delight. Why is Delight always behind them? And always using very weird magical journeys as there's another ghoulie wall to come on in as Owner is able to paranoia in there. Kanavi comes down. They do take out the Bard, but Zeus might be able to grab this kill, and there it is with a Q. 1-for-1 on the top side of the map. And this game has gone weird. Faker behind the turret as well is able to flash out of the way of that last turret shot. And Carrier gets underneath his turret, but he may not be out of the woods just yet. Doran into another ghoulie wall as Kanavi able to get the Q down. Flag comes in and able to tank up the last shot. Teleport now in from Faker. I just don't know. Oh, he's able to get there fast enough as Zeus. Yeah, he is going to get stunned up. Those Merc Treads just not quite enough as the Pyroblast takes him down. And that's T1 now in the lead as far as the kill score is concerned.
I was like, maybe I'll do grubs. I don't think so, my friend.
I think he might have just been trying to get over that wall and angered them on his way past.
I think you're right. It just looked funny with the camera pan there. As Delight, they've kind of figured out he likes to be on the T1 side, and they're going to punish him this time.
Yeah, taking the magical journey is not as much of a problem for Owner, who has a spell shield. Pays comes in. Delight is able to ult himself, but I think he wanted to only ult Owner, who will then get stunned but not care, because the Bard is dead.
I don't... Yeah. Anyway, the Delight has been very aggressive. He's been hanging out with Kanavi and maybe apparently Pool Bay as well.
As Faker is going to get cataclysmed, he has no flash, so he's very, very dead.
And it goes to Zeka. It's a small shutdown, but a shutdown none the least.
Indeed. Zeus tries to sidestep, but still gets pierced by that arrow.
We are 9 kills in here at 11.5 minutes, as Kanavi is going to continue to Kanavi here.
He is Kanaviing a lot.
Zeka has his ult now, and I guess we're going to reset finally to a little bit of normalcy. This is not an analyst's game. It's a play-by-play game. This one, it's just constant action. But I do think the game state favors T1 pretty heavily, even with Faker's death there. As we'll see if Pays can survive here. He should be fine.
Bullet time, as not much of it is going to be soaked there by Pays. As Carrier is taking Delight for a walk. Deadly Flourish comes on down. Magical Journey going to be taken by Carrier before Delight.
Thanks for the flank.
That was very odd. And yeah, Carrier actually just using the Bard against the Bard. As it turns out, even in a game when he's not playing Bard, he's the better Bard. That's kind of ridiculous, as Gumayushi, fancy footwork here. And not going to die just yet as the Deadly Flourish comes on through. Now the Paranoia is going to be used on the top side of the map, and the Chains of Corruption will be the demise of Zeus. Gumayushi, I don't think he's long for the world, as that's Pays locking that one up with a 4th bullet. And T1 rocketing to a 2K gold lead.
Yeah, the game state was slightly favored to T1. I think we can change the adverb now. I think it's pretty strongly favored for T1 after these sets of plays. Delight having a bit of a rare miss on the Bard. In the past, we've had games of Delight Bard, like I'm talking years ago, where we were like, okay, I don't think he's very good at this pick. He's more of the engaged guy, but he's really tuned it up, right? His Bard has looked a lot better in recent times. Now Bard is just completely meta. But this game reminds you of the older ones. He's playing very aggressively, right? He's playing incredibly offensively, which is what HANWHA esports do, right? Delight has learned, he has listened to Kanavi, he knows the new way to play League of Legends, which is to just go in all the time. But I think the punishes here have been really crisp from T1. He's died 3 times trying to find that aggression. The first time it worked out for him, the next 2 times a little bit less so. Zeka also looking to be punished.
Yeah, Captive Audience comes on down, and Captive indeed, as he is going to get snared by the Karma as well. We'll just suffer half a health bar in loss. and will then just look to immediately go back home. That is going to happen. No harm, no foul, though, as Cold lead 1.5k, not end of the world, but Double Dragon going to be a big deal with Ocean already taken off the board. I mean, it's only really Chemtech Soul that you're not really looking forward to, but even then, they have a fair bit of ability to utilize it. Exactly.
So, I mean, at least the individual Dragon would be good for them. Mountain is also kind of okay, but weirdly enough, pretty weak for T1. They don't have a lot of champions that will get too much value out of it, especially for this comp.
If you're a squishy comp, though, I feel like Mountain is also kind of amazing because then it kind of makes everyone into a pseudo tank, especially after the soul comes in.
I think they would have liked Hextech the most, but obviously anyone would. As we are going to see a bit of a fight here over the red buff right now, as Paze can impact this play from a really far distance away, and Doran has flash ult. This is a risky endeavor here for HANWHA Esports, but I feel like they just can't help it, can they, Atlas, to try and find something.
They will always try and go for it. Azeus is also trying to go for it as Tibbers versus the Maiden. It's kind of cool. It's like a Pokemon battle.
Yeah.
I don't know who's higher level as far as Tibbers and the Maiden are concerned. Maybe level 10 versus level 10 is probably what it is. Now Carrier taking some damage. Kanavi gets in there, but the Bard, once again, tries to ult himself and dies before it even gets off, as Ona will be able to grab a kill onto Guma. The Emperor's Divide from Zeker is pretty fantastic, but he goes down as well as Doran picks up a triple, and he's looking to make it a quadra here at 15 minutes into the game. Carrier wants to slow down Kanavi, but Kanavi does not get slowed down by anyone.
It's like literally everything I was saying right before this. Like, Paze can impact the play from far away. Right, Doran is there. He has flash and ult. And they just stay for some reason. Like, they can't help it, okay?
Yeah.
Like, Delight goes, he has already used his magical journey. So Kanavi's like, I'm coming with you, bro. But everybody's here. And Paze is also effectively here, right? And he actually ends up joining the fight in the end, but his ultimate is so high value. And then Zeka is like, just sending the bad guys to his teammates.
Guma just kind of died without being able to get into a position to use his ultimate. Still had flash up as well. Very awkward little fight there from HLE, and now they are behind 2,000 gold.
All right, well...
It's not a massive swing, even though it looked like it was T1 kind of demolishing.
It looked very much like a big decision-making error. Is Kanavi...
What?
I mean, I'm scared of him too, to be honest. I also just flashed right then.
Yeah, no, me too.
It's on cooldown for a long time.
Yep.
I better not make any casting mistakes, because I don't think I've got a backup button.
I think Delight had also thrown a Cosmic Binding over the wall. It might have been what the reaction came from there as well. But that just was... it's a jump scare. This whole game has been a jump scare so far.
I mean, the draft even was a jump scare.
True.
As I do think T1 are now in a position to where this Annie setup makes it really simple to play the game. If HANWHA Esports continue to try to play as if they are now like 3,000 gold ahead at 16.5 minutes like they often are, they need to actually play a little bit slower. They need to wait for their opportunities, wait for some Cataclysm, Misfortune combos, right? Like, Misfortune is 1,000 gold behind effectively here in this game, and Nocturnal going to come out. There's Guma.
Lights go off. Deadly Flourish will be avoided here as Ona not able to find Gumayushi, who does have to flash. Holds onto his barrier at least, but the flash is the most important one.
You know how they say patience is a virtue? Kanavi believes it's a sin.
Yeah, no. And, or he just doesn't understand the concept. As Innie goes once more, as if proving our point, as Faker flashes over the wall just beautifully.
Great flash. What a flash from Faker. And that just ruins the whole setup. They almost made something of that.
You almost caught Faker. As Paze just throwing grenades around this mid lane, Gumayushi taking a little bit of damage from that one. As we do have somewhat of some normalcy coming on into the game here.
Don't say it. Don't jinx it.
I had a moment. And it's not even really jinxing, because we kind of want this game to just be chaos the entire time, don't we?
I guess you're right. As we got double hex plates on the top side, as that's the way of Varus these days, and
we are ultimating all the time.
I kind of just think that the problem for HLE have a comp that absolutely can come back here in this small gold lead, but if they kind of keep throwing themselves at T1, it might just be that they are their own undoing. I think this is kind of strangely a weird test for HLE where they need to be patient.
Yeah, if they cannot too much, it could be a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, just like play through sides, you know, let Kanavi set you up. You don't have to dive turrets. and just get this scaling of 0 online. He's going to do more damage throughput than the Annie will in most cases. Again, assuming mistakes aren't made. Faker is not ahead, believe it or not, because he died twice, even though he had a pretty nice lead early on. But Kanavi's on his own side of the jungle. Maybe they are taking it a little bit to heart here.
Yeah. And Kanavi still has a decent advantage as well in the jungle. He's one of the only ones, somehow Faker as well, based on mainly that CS lead that he has against Faker, is able to hold on to a little bit of an advantage here as well. But with Doran as strong as he is, it is a very scary moment, as we do have a teleport coming on in. I'm not sure about that one, Faker, as he does get knocked up by Kanavi. It should be a trade, but the Tempered Fate this time is going to work out and will save his life.
That's exactly what I'm talking about when I say wait for opportunities. Faker just gives them a silver platter. Gives them a kill on a silver platter. Teleports to die, and they have all the buttons ready. They wait for it, and they punish. And that should be the first dragon of the game here for HANWHA Life Esports. And Zeus gets some alone time in sides.
That could have been such a huge moment for T1 as well, because it was Soul Point available for them. All that effort put into locking down the double dragon. Obviously, in 5 minutes' time, they'll have another one, but let's check it out again.
There were so many different, better locations to TP to here from Faker, frankly. This one is just a bit of a whiff, bit of a miss. Great play, as you mentioned, from Delight to protect Kanavi here, so T1 are not able to trade one back.
If it was a 1-for-1, though, between the two, that would have been Jungler dead, and T1 would have probably been able to then take the Drake on the back end. So I think Delight really throwing the wrench into the works, and so that was why HLE were able to do so, as Kanavi just goes up into the sky for a sec, and then looks to try and take down a Grump. He will be successful in that endeavor. 1,000 gold to lead for T1. This game is getting closer and closer.
It certainly is. The Rocket Belt is ready here for Zeka. So he is very difficult to blow up very quickly in this draft. No longer really a target for the Nocturne setups here. I don't think he'll ever really be in a position to be caught by Faker. Guma is the big hole that needs to be patched here for HANWHA Life Esports. They need to get him some more money. He's got some alone time here in this, not alone time, but some strong time here with this Bloodthirst, so like he can safely farm in the mid lane is what I'm getting at.
Yep.
And they're going to look for a potential pick onto Faker. He still doesn't have flash just yet, and if he runs away, that's a turret. This is a great macro play here. And I do think that Zeus can just kind of eat the deficit on the bottom side here into Doran, knowing that Owner could ult him. He's playing very safely, so this just doesn't really allow for a cross map here for T1. As you can see, the Varus is pushing.
Take the bottom outer turret. So it is a 1-for-1, but still, I think that HLE will be happy with how this one's going.
Can't get more.
Rotating over as Doran is sieging an inner turret. That seems dangerous.
He is punished too much. Backed up by Owner, though, and it's very difficult for Delight to make this play alone. But if Kanavi shows up, Doran find himself leaving very quickly, and he is on his way out.
Yep, and Delight is just going to make his way over, finds the Cosmic Binding there as the mini flag and drag is going to try and lock down Owner, who flashes away. Doran standing his ground, though. The Tempered Fate holds him in position. The curtains were cold, but Pays not going to be able to find those last bullets. But man, Doran is so scary with this Dusk and Dawn.
Yeah, he does so much damage.
And
by Maiden.
Takes 50 gold from the Maiden as well.
Pays had a huge part to play in that defensive Doran. He had such a great angle there and had enough vision to back it up, knowing that he could actually just pull out the curtains, the curtain call, pull them back, and make sure that there was no follow-up there. And HLE just had to respect Doran's damage with all of that utility coming through from the Jhin. So kind of reset in T1. Maintain a small gold lead here. Very small at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's still shrinking. Tempo vibes feeling on the side of T1, though. To go back to that one.
Yeah.
Spaze comes back, picks up this wave, and outer turrets still up here in the mid lane, as two of them have fallen for T1 in their side lanes. I think that's a large reason why HLE is so competitive as far as the gold is concerned. That one extra turret, but that just shows how close this game is.
Incredibly close. Like, the next fight is probably going to be on this next dragon, but both teams have threatened vision on Baron. It's a MF versus a Jhin, so the damage is not 100% there for doing this.
It's not really, although there is an Azir on HLE's side, so I'd wait, there's also a Varus on the T1.
But it's still like so risky because your comps are a little bit squishy, especially with the Yorick not wanting to be there and the Varus being Varus, so you can be punished if you're the one to start Baron first, but they're setting these Baron traps like HLE are doing right now, and T1 are so good at this themselves that they're going to play this slow and not fall for it.
Level 16 on Doran, my goodness.
Yeah,
he's 2
big.
levels ahead. I mean, 1 and a bit levels ahead, as level 15 does come in for Zeus now. But a full level is a huge deal, especially when it's level 16. So Doran going to come in looking for Delight, but does immediately get knocked up. There's a Paranoia going down. Delight is very dead almost immediately as Ona gets on in there. The Cataclysm is going to lock him down, but they kill Guma before he can really do anything. Now Doran flashing out of the way. Zeka should be able to put him down, and then dash cannons towards Carrier to try and lock that one up. Now Zeus versus Faker. Is Zeus finding some revenge?
Zeka?
And he will find the angle there. Zeka will be able to go golden, but Faker walking so incredibly quickly. It's a double for Pays as he looks to clean up, and the footwork isn't there for the Yorick. It's a triple for Pays in the end.
Carrier, by the way, no deaths on this Karma, plays this fight like a
1-0-11.
man. Like he's up in the thick of things because he knows that he's not the priority target. He's just the one casting spells on all of his teammates in the thick of things. Guma dying here, so important, because if he lives even with like 1 health, he can actually offer a lot more in this fight. And Doran, look at Carrier, flashes to give him the shield, buy some additional space. Faker winning the fight on the other side here against Zeus initially, but doesn't actually have the damage throughput. And then this ult here from Zeka and the Zonias makes it look like maybe there's an angle here. Faker rejoins. And Zeka is
deadly
deleted.
flourish onto Zeus. I didn't even see it.
Keeps him out. Cannot get in. Carrier is just like, he's doing so much in this fight. He's casting spells on everybody to keep them up. And caught here a little bit.
Well, Carrier might be dead, ladies and gentlemen. No flash available, and so he is going down. Kanavi, of course, is going to use that to go even further in, and Faker will be taken down by a meep slap out of Delight.
I mean,
it is going to be soul point over to T1.
But can they do Baron? I think they can. Like, they have this Azir, like you were mentioning, doesn't have an arm guard anymore, but he's got the damage. Doran's going to pick up 3,500 assists, and he's going to try to assist his team in denying this Baron, but they're very late.
Yeah, let's see what more they can get. The Ghoulie Wall just to try and zone them away. As Zeus could be in a lot of trouble here. There's the bullet time, and down will go Ona. That should guarantee the Baron, as Kanavi's on top of it, and HLE will be able to secure this. Still, they sacrifice Zeus for it. Emperor's Divide just barely picks up Doran, and he's not going to be getting 3,501 assists at the end of this.
Best game of the year so far? This game is crazy.
I don't know. It certainly felt like one of the most back-and-forth games.
It's incredible. All right, Carrier's going to come over here and try to annoy Kanavi and defend this red buff, but the mid lane turret is down. Baron up for HLE after that play. The misfortune value was there, and finally Guma takes a pretty big lead here over Pays. I mean, at this stage of the game, 500 isn't that much, but he gets a real lead. He's actually now extremely relevant, as this all starts off here with Carrier getting caught and HLE turning to Baron. But we got to go back to live because it's one of those games.
Yep. Kanavi is Kanaviing one more time as Zeka almost dies to the Tibbers from Faker, but I think Faker knew that he was going to be dying there. And that is another pick. Doran's still not up yet. And HLE with a lot of spare time and a Baron on top of that.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of game where we got to ban replays because there's always something happening in live.
Yeah.
Zeka gets his Zonias, so no longer a broken arm guard, sitting on 3 items on this Azir. They take a significant lead here.
And the thing that really has taken a hit, Wolf, is those early game stats that we had from HLE. Because in a deficit throughout most of this game, but have been able to turn things around and have now found their largest lead so far in the game.
Absolutely, and it's really only Doran. I mean, it's actually factually only Doran who has a lead here now for T1, but they're just going to group and start sieging these turrets.
Delight just really likes pressing Magical Journey, and he does it again, and he's actually going to be fine. Ona gets the fear onto Kanavi in this mid lane, but that is a lot of damage onto Gumayushi. This gets comboed by Faker. Goes down to 50%, does have Bloodthirster though, so should be able to get that health bar back up to a decent level.
The siege is real. They need to be careful about overextending though.
Yeah, Zeka able to get out of the way of the Chains of Corruption. Really nicely done there. Doran opportunistic.
HANWHA Esports, you know, I mean, Kanavi's up 2 levels. He's got a lead. He had a lead early on in the game and has really pulled ahead in experience now as they start to take all the jungle away.
Kind of ridiculous that Zeka has the largest lead in the game.
Especially with how this game started, but he's done so much damage, and this Azir pick is so important for what HANWHA Esports are trying to do in these scrappy fights, and has been so instrumental in being able to, for example, set up the Baron. That got them this really huge lead in the first place, where they were able to get that pick onto Carrier and then with his damage start the Baron and threaten that turn. And now T1 kind of have to huddle. Like they have a Nocturne, but it's difficult to Paranoia. It's difficult to actually find a setup or engage because it's Nocturne and Karma. They need the Annie to be in position to set this up, but she is just so fragile right now.
Well, Faker was waiting for an opportunity there. Running pretty fast as Tempered Fate is going to be thrown down for fun. The siege is on. They do manage to get the Crystalline Overgrowth, and there is more plates falling in this mid lane. Doran coming on over, though, and I think that Kanavi didn't really want to go for that 1v1. As HLE, Baron wears off, and they are just going to back away. 3.6k going to be their advantage, one of the largest leads in the game so far, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and now for T1, you have to really just keep your focus on this dragon. If you can secure that Mountain Soul, it's going to be huge for you. And if you can win the team fight around it, obviously that would be even better. But they have Varus, right? It's not Gumo who's piloting it for a steal, but they have a lot of different ways to secure this. They have all of their flashes. You know, this is going to be potentially the game-deciding fight here. You see some frustration on the T1 player cams here because this game felt so much more in their hands.
I thought it was because Pays built Ghostblade Stormrazor.
No, that was just frustration with you on the caster cam.
I imagine Orcs is probably also a little frustrated. But I don't have confirmation of that, and maybe this space will let us know whether he is frustrated.
T1, no prio here, so it's tough for the Nocturne, again, to get access to the targets they want. Guma and Zek on the left side here, but so well protected. Delight's ultimate comes back online here. All flashes are up in this game, and this might be the final team fight.
Could be. Delight taking a little bit of a chunk there as the flash forward from Faker. They don't manage to kill Delight though, and Faker goes down very, very low. Bullet time onto just the Annie will secure it. And Kanavi still has GA and doesn't actually get it popped. Gets out of the way of the curtain call, and HLE were looking for even more. But I think just denying this soul could be a big deal. As never mind, Zeus has winning the game on his mind.
They're going to do both. They're going to get this dragon, but also get this inhibitor turret, force a big reaction out of T1. There's no contest of the dragon whatsoever, period here. And they end up just getting both wins on the map. Of course, both on the bottom side of the map, but a far distance away from each other. It looks like just a bit of a miscalculation here with Faker's play on trying to get Delight. He takes that chunk. Faker sees his opportunity to flash Tibbers. The follow-up is there from Pays, but they don't have the damage. And Kanavi, watch how he plays this. Turns onto Doran. Faker's killed by the ultimate here of Guma, but he makes sure that Doran can't get an angle to layer any damage onto the rest of the team, and T1 just have to tuck tail and run.
And Kanavi as well, nice footwork to avoid a lot of those bullets as well. Keeps his GA intact. 3-1 and 11. 100% kill contribution in a game like this is kind of disgusting.
It's a 31 kill game.
Yeah. And he has been there for all of his team's kills and has only died once.
He's only a level behind the York.
My goodness. Well, Paranoia comes down. Immediate flash out there from Guma. As Cataclysm comes on forward, Ona still had his flash up and available, and he may need to use it as he does get inspired. There is the Tempered Fate onto only Carrier. As HLE, a lot of buttons on cooldown, but T1 can say the same.
It's so hard for T1 to play this comp without going in. And every time they go in, there's a consequence, right? They're not getting the picks they're looking for, and the turn is amazing. And now HLE are like, thank you for the setup for Baron.
Well, Zeka needs to be over there, as Pays might be able to find an angle here towards Zeka, but he does just fly away.
Doran TP.
Yeah, and this Baron is just gone, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing they can really do about that one. Still, Ona, without his ultimate yet available, Carrier just barely alive as well as the Maiden getting involved. Deadly Flourish, fantastic, onto Zeus, and he will just be sacrificed. The curtains are being called here as well, as they're in the shooting gallery. HLE just staying in the fog of war as best they can, though, as Doran moving up behind them. And they are getting corralled. Maybe this Sun Disc will be enough to help them out. Azaius, no teleport to join after this 45 seconds either, if they can buy that much time, which would be really, really difficult. Zeka looks for the angle as Carrier flashes out of the way. Ona will be able to get his Zhonya's, as that was such a weird play. The Emperor's Divide onto the Varus to lock out so much of the damage, and Pays is dead as well. Down goes Ona and HLE. The 4 versus 5, they're looking to try and win it anyway, as Kanavi will be able to help lock down Carrier. And the Tempered Fate just to look really cool before securing the ace. Gumayushi was already onto this inhibitor turret, and man, what an incredible game. But in the end, HLE get their their revenge and take down T1 in game 1.
A hard-fought win for HLE. And man, I don't know if Pace could have done more this game. His catch on to Zeka, the constant threatening, that was his first death of the game, and it will be his last as well. He's the final T1 member to die here. Their recent addition, but HLE with a